Let your enemies talk.
Would you?
Is Allah a man?
Forgive you for rudely interrupting me. Listen, brother, please. Listen. I am the Antichrist, and he will kill the Antichrist. He is not going to defeat Satan.
Talk about because you come here next week.
Excuse me.
And we talk about.
Excuse me. What have you been smoking that you cannot speak to me in a calm way now? So, if you listen.
The reason
now, because I don't think
about Muhammad being a possessed person today is that's why I brought this.
Listen.
If I see the person, because Muhammad, the prophet, because normally when somebody is speaking like this about, we talk about that statement that I say, I'm stand by my statement to photocopy or even bring the books.
Okay.
Yeah,
just
to go into details.
I want to do a 30-second test. The reason why I'm saying this, so that our meeting 30 seconds, then I know I can go. Okay, brother. So no, because of my experience with you today. You let me.
You talk about
let your enemies talk.
Would you?
Is Allah a man?
Let your enemies talk.
Tell me.
Talk.
Who is Allah?
I forgive.
Tell me.
I forgive you for rudely interrupting me.
Listen,
brother, please.
Listen to what?
I do forgive you for rudely interrupting. Okay, even though you haven't asked for an apology, I forgive you. As I was saying, we believe Isa alayhi salam, or Jesus, the prophet of God. He will fight the Antichrist and he will kill the Antichrist. He is not going to defeat Satan because Satan has
you're
interrupting me again.
Engage in that formally now.
You are interrupting me again very rudely.
I said
like a savage.
Yeah, I said my statement. If you want us to talk about it, you come here next week.
Excuse me.
And we talk about it in a calm and a friendly way.
What did you smoke today that you can't talk to me in a calm way today? What were you smoking?
What I smoke?
No. What were you smoking? What have you been smoking that you cannot speak to me in a calm way now? So, if you let me finish.
You're talking about what do you think I smoked?
I am asking you, you are clearly unable to have a calm discussion right now because something's wrong with you, right?
No, I said I don't have. I need to bring all the evidence.
I am not asking for any evidence.
When I'm talking to somebody, I have my evidence.
Listen.
The reason I brought this.
I don't think I will have a discussion with you next week. You know why? If I'm unable to have a discussion right now because you keep interrupting me every second.
Muhammad being a possessed person today is that 2 weeks ago I was here and someone, just as you're saying, somebody say I am mad because of what I was saying.
There's a trend.
And I realized the common trend among you people.
No, the common trend.
So that's why I brought this.
Listen.
If I see the person, because Muhammad, your prophet, was a possessed person.
My friend.
This I didn't write this. It's all your documents. It's here. You deny any of this? So that's what I'm saying. So if you want us to talk about this next week, you tell me. I will come here with all the evidence I have, and we talk about it. Any topic at all, whether you want us to talk about Jesus, about the Bible, about Christ, in terms of Jesus or the Bible, I don't need any preparation at all. But in terms of Islamic religion, because normally when somebody is speaking like this about possession of Muhammad, you say, where is the evidence? Where is all this? Yes, that's why I brought this here. So next time, so we come here, I will be here next week. So we talk about that statement that I say. I'm stand by my statement, and we will see. But I don't want you to explain things to me. Now, there's no point.
Are you relaxed now?
For you to explain anything to me.
Are you a little bit calmer now? Are you?
I'm just telling you. Let me make this thing very clear to you. At the moment, I am not prepared to go into detailed discussion with you about what you're saying. Because I need evidence. I have the evidence, right? I have to photocopy or even bring the books for the evidence. Now I don't have those here.
Shall we just do
do you understand that?
Okay. Shall we just do?
I'm not prepared to go into details.
I want to do a 30-second test. If you are able to remain quiet for 30 seconds, and we should conduct.
I say I don't want to.
Listen.
I don't want to continue with the discussion.
Do you know why?
I don't want to continue with that discussion.
Listen.
You're scared.
At the moment. Scared
Excuse
of
me.
what? Scared of what?
Brothers, please.
If you want us to be reasonable, I present evidence. He brought this is evidence.
Uncle.
That's what I'm saying.
Uncle.
You want me to be talking things out of my head? No, I don't want to do that. I'm not an idiot.
Uncle.
My friend.
Do this. Allow him.
No, he wants to explain something to me. I don't want.
Good.
I don't want him to explain.
Then walk away.
anything to me.
Half an hour.
That's what I'm saying.
Bye-bye,
Right
walk
now,
away.
you're sounding
I
very
don't want
Bye-bye,
him to
walk away.
explain. There's nothing you can explain.
Walk half an hour.
There is nothing he can. There's nothing you can explain to me.
Bye-bye.
There is nothing you can
Okay,
explain
walk away,
to me.
walk away.
You see, so I don't want.
Look, you invited me to come to you next week when you are prepared.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
listen,
yes.
wait.
Yeah. But if you want to talk any topic about
Excuse me.
Christianity,
Excuse-
I am prepared anytime.
Listen.
Anytime. Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying this, so that our meeting or conversation next week is fruitful,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
going to do a 30-minute test. If you are able to remain calm and quiet without interrupting for 30 seconds,
I can't-
30 seconds,
No.
then I know I can
Who
continue
are
next
you
week.
that to test me?
There you go.
Who are you to test
Bye-bye.
me?
As you can see clearly.
Who are you to test me?
Okay, bye-bye.
Who are you to test me?
Holy Spirit
You can't
on you.
test me in what?
The reason why, because
You failed the test.
Okay, brother, please.
You can't test me.
No, with all due respect, with all due respect.
What do you
Listen,
What's
with
your
all
level? What level do you think we are? That you can test me.
I'm
In other words, you think you are somehow more better than me?
Okay.
So that you can test me?
No, you are better than me.
I didn't say that.
I said
you
that.
are the one who.
I say you're better than me.
You are the one
Yeah?
who's saying you want to test me.
know why you're better than me is?
Why would you want to test me?
Do you know why? What is better than me in?
Who are you to test me?
Talking non-stop.
Who are you to test me?
Definitely better than me. Okay, brother. One
So
second.
what time do you
What
want
I'm
me to be
saying
here?
is
What
this.
time do you want me to be here?
Can I say?
Yeah, just tell me the time.
Okay,
I
good,
will
good,
be here.
good. Very
I will be
good.
here next
So,
week.
are you going to let me even speak so that I can arrange that?
Just the time. Just tell me the time. because I need to go now.
Can you let me speak so we can arrange it?
No, I need to go now. So
Okay,
you tell me
you're
the
not going to let
time.
me speak.
You just tell me the
Listen,
time.
listen.
Tell me the
Okay,
time.
now.
I will be here.
Okay, listen.
I will be here next
Listen.
next week.
1, 2, 3, good. So that our discussion is meaningful,
Yes, yes.
fruitful,
Yes.
educational,
Yes.
it has to be a discussion where I talk, you listen, you talk, I listen.
No
right.
problem.
So good. So because of my experience with you today tells me that it's not going to happen, so I only need to do a 30-second test.
No.
Within this 30 seconds, if you remain quiet without interrupting, then I know it's possible. Starts from now. So someone count 30 seconds. So we want to talk next week where we're going to, someone counting, right? So he's not going to talk about 30 seconds. So we're going to talk about the issues about Jesus Christ, whether he's God or not.
Yes.
Okay?
No problem. That's what I can do
And-
anytime.
Why did you say anytime? I said without talking.
You can't help it.
You failed the test. So I'm afraid
Yeah, I felt
I am unable to conduct a meeting with you next week. Why? Because
It's
you
entirely up to
failed the
you. It's
30-second test.
Yeah, it's
I'm sorry.
entirely up to
You may
you.
leave the test-
It's entirely up to
Sorry.
you. Who
You're better
was
than me.
given the time?
I cannot debate you. You're better than
You
me.
can't debate.
You're talking non-stop.
How
I
do you
can't
know
do
it's
that.
30 minutes? How do you know it's 30 minutes?
Seconds.
No, who was it?
You are talking machine.
Who
man.
was
You are
the
talking
timekeeper?
machine.
Who is the timekeeper according to you
talking
to
machine.
time it
Listen.
at 30 seconds?
You are talking
Tell
machine.
me. How do I know whether the 30 seconds is finished or not?
So you
don't
have
know.
no-
Who
so
is
you
the
have no
timekeeper?
concept of time.
According to you.
Me, where does that?
Who is the timekeeper? When you were speaking?
You have no impression of time?
No. Who was the timekeeper? Tell me who was the timekeeper.
I will tell you.
Who was the timekeeper who was keeping your time? That's the thing, because you decide 30 minutes in your mind.
Not 30 minutes.
What is 30 minutes? What is 30 seconds?
Do you know how long
According
30
to you.
seconds is? Do you know how long 30 seconds is?
So who said this?
Good. Start. Do you know how long 30 seconds is?
Okay, start it.
Do you have an idea?
I'm
Vague
not a
idea.
clock. You are the one
Do you have a
with
vague
clock in
idea?
your mind.
Do you have a
tell
vague
people
idea?
when 30 seconds is.
But do you have a vague idea?
You are the one with the time in your head who tell people you decide when 30.
So you have no idea how long 30 seconds is?
iPhone
Because
decides.
you don't. Because, did you say the timekeeper?
No, Siri.
Look,
Are you not the one who decided
amount-
about the 30 seconds? Who decided whether the 30 seconds is up or not?
Excuse me.
Failed.
Hello. Are you having a conversation about Jesus, or are you having a conversation about 30 seconds?
About 30 seconds. Yeah, because he said I spoke within 30 seconds of his talking.
You are talking machine, man. You are
When you're
talking machine.
dialoguing with somebody, he talks, you talk. But you're
Yes,
just
yes.
going on and on and on.
Yeah,
like
if we're
a-
dialoguing, we can do a time. If we're dialoguing.
You may have
If
communication
we're
problems or something, I don't know, but he talks, you talk, he talks, you talk, but you're going on like you're saying.
Yeah, I don't want to listen. I don't want to, because I know what he wants to say.
Because you are possessed, man.
I've said
Like
if he wants to
telling you
debate me,
prevent
talk
the
about
person.
it, we talk, we say the
Like telling
time.
you-
Don't need it.
Yeah, but
You're
you're going too far.
Scared of what?
the truth and the truth
I'm
is
not scared of no.
maybe this is how he is, right? So don't say he's possessed. No, brother.
I already know the truth.
Allah
Jesus
so don't
Christ.
Do you believe in the Antichrist? Do you believe in the Antichrist?
I already know the truth.
That's
know-
Whatever truth,
Do you believe in
whatever truth you are looking for.
When you say he is demon
the
possessed,
Antichrist?
He said Jesus will defeat Shaitan. Can you defeat Shaitan or no? Can you defeat Shaitan or no?
Do you believe in the
of course you can.
Why Jesus come
No.
defeat
When
Shaitan?
you say he is demon possessed, you shouldn't be saying that, right?
Okay, Jazakallah.
Okay, so that's fine. He says okay, it's not
He's looking for truth.
Yeah.
He's looking for Jesus.
Thank you.
You should tell him.
Any person
Sorry.
who wants the truth and
If he was
Doesn't matter. He doesn't deserve it.
he was respectful to you,
No, doesn't matter. If you said something,
he
just say
believed
it.
you, brother. He believed you. Who are
Doesn't
you?
matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
You know the
You should have some
Antichrist?
respect.
that's what I can tell you. If you are looking for truth, actually you are looking for
ولن
Jesus.
يجعل الله للكافر.
So one thing we understood though, if you are going to talk about Christianity and Christ-related issues, you don't need any preparation. That's what you said. So let's talk about that without any preparation.
Yeah, my throat is dry now.
I got water. I got water.
We do the
I got
truth.
water.
Give some water.
I
There you go.
have water.
Take some
We
water.
do the truth together.
No, do it now.
No,
Have
we
some
do the
water.
truth together.
I'll give you fish.
Any others?
No, we do. No, we do the truth together.
No. Let's talk about
Because I
Christ.
told you I needed
Let's
to
talk about Christ.
I'll hold you back.
Do you think Christ worship God sincerely or
What do you
wholeheartedly?
mean God worship?
Okay.
Jesus is God. Your sentence has a wrong premise.
Okay, let me clarify my
It's a
question
wrong
then.
premise, yeah.
Let me clarify my
Jesus
question.
is God.
When
Why would you say Jesus worship?
Okay, let me clarify then.
God.
When he says, I'm going to my God and your God, it gives me an impression from reading that text from the New Testament that he has a God that he's going to. If someone has a God, of course, you either worship him or you don't, because your God should be the one who you should worship. So, are you denying that Jesus did not have a God?
Well, when you say you read, who interpreted it for you? If you read something about the Bible, where did you get your guidance?
Maybe my interpretation
who
is
interpreted
incorrect.
it for you? You are interpreting
so
it yourself.
maybe my interpretation
you are
is
interpreting
incorrect.
Yourself.
Would you kindly interpret for me what
If you
it
want
means?
to,
What Jesus
okay,
says,
tell me,
I'm going to
tell
my
me
God
about
and your
what
God?
you read it out for me.
Okay, I read.
So that if you have a question about it, I can answer you.
Fair enough.
But make sure you don't interpret it for
No,
me.
I'm not going to do that. You help me to interpret. Is that
Because
fair?
you're not a Christian. You're not qualified.
Is that fair? You help me to interpret it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
bring
read
it out
interpret
and read it.
it. So I read a text where he's telling.
Yeah, bring out the text. The text.
Do you have the Bible?
Yeah.
Okay. Bring up the Bible and I'll show you where it is.
Bible.
ولن يجعل الله الكافرين على المؤمنين سبيلا.
John 20.
Yeah, you take it, open it, open it up and show me the thing you're talking about.
Okay, here.
Read it.
This is the Holy Bible, Revised Standard Version, Catholic Edition. Do you accept that?
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that you do.
Yeah,
right?
I'll give it to you.
Good. So, Book of John, chapter 20.
And go on, just read what you want to
I'm going to just pick up one verse and you can give me the whole context, right? You are the one who's going to do the interpreting. This is what Jesus is saying. Jesus said to her, "Do not hold me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father, but go to my brethren and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." So the last part of the statement where he says, I'm going to my God and your God, can you explain to me what it means when he says, I'm going to my God?
Any other thing you want to know? Any other thing you want to know from the Bible?
No, that's a start. Good. Keep the Bible open and now tell us what is the correct interpretation of that when he says, I'm going to my God. Keep the Bible open, please, yeah? Because we might need to refer to other passages. Yeah, keep it open. I'll hold.
Are there other passages related to this? Or?
Yeah, related to that one. So,
okay,
can you kindly interpret it
come out
for
with
us?
one question.
Okay, can you kindly interpret it for
put it together
us?
and come out with one question.
Start with one.
So Jesus told Mary Magdalene. So I want to ask you. He said he's going to my Father. He said right. He said he's going to my Father. According to the Quran, who is the father of Jesus?
Okay. Do you need the Quran to interpret the Bible?
Because I want to.
I want you to understand one thing.
Yeah.
Do you need the Quran to do the interpretation?
Yeah. Do you believe the book of John?
One second.
Do you believe the book of John?
Let me respond.
Yeah.
I agreed with you. I'm not going to do the interpreting. I'm going to read and you're going to interpret.
Yes.
Because you are qualified to interpret. I have no problem with that. So I read a verse from book of John 20, verse 17. The last part of the statement where it says, I'm going to my God and your God, I want you to interpret it to us. Now, let me finish. Now, I'm not going to ask you to interpret with the lens of the Quran or the lens of the Bhagavad Gita of the Bible or the Karl Marx's Das Kapital. I'm not sure whether he wrote that or not. Anyway, so as a Christian, you are going to interpret from your own sources. So do not ask me a question, do you know who the Father is? That is not my question. My question is, can you interpret without resorting to Quran or the Hindu books or the Buddhist books or the atheist manifesto, what that statement means of Jesus? I am going to my God and your God.
So why I ask you that question is that I want to begin, start from what you know, from where you are. I want to begin from where you are. I want to gauge how far you know. From there, what you know, from there we can build on that. That's the reason I ask you.
Very basic, carry on.
Yeah, that's the reason I ask you that question.
Yeah, very basic, carry on.
Yeah, so according to your belief, who is the father of Jesus?
Carry on.
I'm asking you.
No, that's not how you interpret the Bible, do you?
Yeah, because they are important.
Is that how you? Do you know?
No, it's important for me to interpret this for you to understand. Because sometimes when I come here, somebody can ask me, show me where Jesus said, I'm God, worship me. If I tell the person, the next day, the same person come, where did Jesus say, I'm God, worship me? The same person, same question, every time. So that's why I need to begin from where you know. Where you know.
What do you understand by it?
So I'm asking you, because there, the passage you quoted to me talked about Father of Jesus, and God.
And who's your
right?
father as well, right?
Yeah, so I'm asking
No, no,
you
so-
from what you know.
Can you slow down?
From what you know from your belief.
I'll tell you.
Who is the father
Sure.
of
Okay.
Jesus?
According to this statement, Jesus is saying, I'm going to my father and your father. So what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, this fathership, he says my father and your father. So it's your father and his father is the same father. Is that correct?
I haven't said anything.
No, according to what Jesus
I
said.
haven't said anything yet.
I
haven't done any interpretation.
Wait a moment.
I say I want to begin from where you are.
Good. So from what I am, allow me to speak.
For us to proceed, you need to tell me where, from what you know from the Quran, who is the father of Jesus.
So you're again.
From what you know from the Quran, who is the father of Jesus.
Okay. According to the verse that I quoted, Jesus is saying, peace be upon him, I am going to my father and your father.
Anyway, it looks like we're not going to get
excuse me, you're interrupting when I'm just about to explain to you.
Because I asked you a simple question. According to you, according to the Quran, who is the father of Jesus? Simple.
According to the Quran, Jesus has no father.
Has no father?
Yes.
So Jesus has no father?
Yes.
According to the Quran?
Yes. Now carry on and interpret the verse. So interpret the verse now. So the Quran says Jesus has no father. Carry on.
Because you know you're lying. You see, you're not an honest
I'm lying.
person. You're not an
I'm lying. Did you say I'm lying?
You're not an honest person.
And what did I say that was a lie?
You said according to...
Yeah, what did I say? No, what did I say that was a lie?
Have some respect.
What did I say do you think
Have
it's a
some
lie?
respect, man. Why are you accusing him lying, you idiot?
So you are saying that Jesus has no father?
No, according to the Quran, Jesus has no father.
Jesus has no father?
Yeah. So according to the Quran, do you think he has a father?
Yeah, I think
Show us where in the Quran it says Jesus has a father. Here's the Quran.
Okay, we'll do the whole thing.
No.
We'll do the
There you
whole
go. No, there you go. Here is the Quran. Show us where Jesus has a father.
We'll do the whole topic. We'll do the whole topic. This one, this one, and the other one together
next week.
So basically,
I make sure, because you see, because I'm not asking you a question to trip you out. If you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it truthfully.
so you can't interpret that verse, can you?
What do you mean I can't interpret?
So can you interpret what it means? I'm going to my God and your God.
I haven't interpreted it.
So go ahead
I
then.
haven't interpreted
Go ahead and interpret.
Yeah, because I asked you a simple question.
And I've answered it
But
simply.
you're not honest in your answer.
He answered.
You're not honest in your answer. That put me
testified
off.
his honesty.
It really put me off.
What do you want?
But anyway,
Muslims, wait a second. So are you suggesting Muslims believe according to the Quran Jesus has a father? One moment, brother. Are you suggesting Muslims believe according to the Quran Jesus has a father? Is that what you're suggesting?
that's not my question.
So you said I was dishonest and I was lying. So I am saying every Muslims on planet Earth will say according to the Quran Jesus has no father. So are they right in their interpretation or are they wrong?
It's not for me.
Good. So since I've answered your question, now tell me when Jesus says I'm going to my God and your God, how do you interpret that?
So because I asked you that question,
You're a pastor in the church, right?
I'm not a pastor.
You're not a pastor. You're just a normal lay person. Okay, fine. So I know who I'm talking to. You're a lay person, not a pastor, because it would be an insult to say you're a pastor and you didn't know these simple basics. A lay person may not know. So again, as a lay person,
may not know.
when Jesus says I'm going to my God and your God, does he say to you that he has a God?
No.
So what is he saying?
Is he lying?
I will
Brother,
interpret it.
can you remain quiet, brother? Thank you.
Interpret it for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, not now.
Now, because you don't need any preparation, you said.
No, not now, because I referenced the Quran in that.
No, don't reference the Quran.
I did reference
Okay.
it.
Do you believe in the
And
Quran?
it's going to be part.
Of course. You don't believe like Muslims do. So if you can ask him the question, he can't ask you to refer to the Quran. You can ask him the question. What did Jesus mean when I said
part of the answer? It's going to be part of the, because it
There are
reveals-
many
it reveals
individuals.
it will build. I will build it up from what you say, and we'll get there.
Are you Muslim?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anyone who's not a Muslim here? Anyone? Okay. Maybe you believe in the Quran, so I should know. Are you Muslim?
No.
Good. So do you? Okay. So could you kindly ask him this question? When Jesus said, "I'm going to my God and your God," what did he mean? Just to him, please. Yeah. Only that question to him.
No, he's listening.
No. He would not answer me
give you
because.
a satisfactory answer. I will.
Okay. Can you just ask him that question? That's it.
When I
That's
give you
all.
the answer, I really want you to pay attention and really understand it. I'm not going to lie to you.
Just that
I'm going
question.
to explain to you sincerely.
Are you sincere? I have to ask.
I've never said anything untruthful.
No, I need to be asking you this question.
So
you're sincere, right? Okay. Could you interpret
in such a
now?
way that you understand me? You understand
You're
clearly.
failing to do it now, right now.
Because I have not explained anything to you, have I?
So why don't you? Why don't you? Why are you so afraid to explain it?
Afraid of what?
Then you're not afraid, so you should be able to explain it what it means.
What time do you want us to meet next week?
Why are you utterly failing to explain it right now? Something that is in plain
Interpret
English.
it whatever way you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Interpret it whatever way you want.
When he said, "I'm going to my God," he says, "I'm going to my what?"
Yeah, look. Interpret it whatever way you want. But I've told you, because I made a reference, because I made a reference to the Quran or something, I'm going to answer everything.
Don't make a reference to the Quran.
Yeah.
Don't. So without referring to the Quran, what does it mean?
You see, you think the Bible is about verses.
Can you explain what it means in English?
It's not about verses.
It's not about verses.
It's not about
so I'm not a
verses.
good actor like you are, right? So I can't act. I can only speak the way I speak. So kindly, can you please tell us?
You see, before you understand that, what's the purpose of the whole book?
So you're not going to interpret it for us, right?
What's the purpose of the whole book?
Do you eat banana in your breakfast?
No. If I tell you that this book you're reading from, whether you are talking about Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, it's about the Exodus.
So basically, you have no knowledge how to interpret it.
Now, this is the thing.
Is that what you're saying?
This is the key word.
So you are unable.
Listen.
You're out of failure.
I give you a clue.
No, go give me a clue.
I give you
Just
a clue.
interpret it. So basically, you're saying you are an utter failure in interpreting that text.
Now, this is the thing. For you to understand the thing, you need to know what the word Exodus means. It's very critical for you to understand.
I am going to my God. So these statements.
Yeah, for you to understand that, you need to know what Exodus means.
Do you know what Exodus means?
I'm telling you.
Do you know what it means?
You need to know what Exodus means.
Do you know what it means? Do you know what it means?
Yes.
Good. So now tell me about knowing what Exodus means. When Jesus says, "I am going to my God and your God," what does it mean? What he said that?
You see, this book, of the
enough of the waffling, right?
Okay, you want to listen?
Cut the chase and explain.
You want to listen?
I am.
Now, this is the thing. In any of the four books, Jesus is the Exodus of Jesus. And you need to start from there.
Yeah. Continue.
They are the Exodus of Jesus. In any of the four books.
So what did he mean when he said that?
So you want to catch that unless you understand this and follow it. It's an Exodus.
Can you do that in 30 seconds?
Okay. No, you can't.
Can you do that in 5 minutes? 5 minutes?
Can't.
5 minutes?
Exodus.
Okay, can you explain?
Exodus.
Stop
What
1
is
second.
Exodus?
1 moment.
What's the mission of Jesus?
One moment.
Exodus.
1 moment.
So you can't just go and pick one place.
So when someone asks a question to a learned person in the church, are they able to answer the question in 5 minutes, or does it take 5 years?
It depends on the question.
Oh, okay.
It depends on the question.
That question I asked.
Because
wait. Slow down, my friend.
I'm being gracious to you. That's
yes,
why
very
I really
gracious.
want you to
Wait.
understand it.
That
when
question that I
explain it
asked.
to you.
No, that's
why I even started from Exodus.
Would it take 5 years or 5 minutes to answer? The question that I asked you, to interpret it the way you can interpret it, would it take 5 minutes or 5 years?
Yeah, you first of all need to know what Exodus is.
Yeah. So how long will it take? 5 minutes or 5 years?
Jesus is.
Excuse me. Your interpretation of that text will take how long? 5 years or 5 billion years, or 5 minutes, or less? How long? Roughly?
About 10 to 20 minutes.
Take 10 to 20 minutes. Okay, let me sit down and explain. Go ahead.
Sit down.
But as I told you, not now.
20 minutes. Go ahead. Explain.
I didn't say 20
Yeah,
minutes.
thank you.
I didn't say that.
No, go ahead. I'm now. I've got 20 minutes to listen to your explanation. Go ahead.
I didn't say that.
Take your 20 minutes.
You see, you think you can compare me to work in your mind according to your plan?
So you are.
Control.
Are you just a show? Is it? Are you just a show?
How you have things in your mind?
Are you actor, man? You actor?
Are you just for a show here?
Me, sure.
Yeah. Are you showing off
Showing what?
that you are a comedian?
Comedian or what sort of comedian?
But that's what we're witnessing.
Because I really want you, because you asked me that.
Take your 20 minutes. Take your 20 minutes.
I really want.
Can I make some notes while you making 20 minutes explanation?
We're here next week.
No. Now, take your 20 minutes while I take some notes what Jesus meant when he said that. So here's my notebook. You start now, please.
I'll start you off by telling you, find out about what Exodus.
Yeah.
That's an assignment for you.
No, you
That's
explain.
an assignment for you. Find out about Exodus and the Exodus of Jesus.
Tell him.
That's the assignment for you.
Go ahead.
You wanted to understand. When I explain it to you,
So we are all listening.
That's
Those
the
who have
background.
20 minutes, please wait for 20 minutes.
I'm giving you the background knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm giving you background knowledge.
Exodus.
Find out
No.
Exodus. What
I'm not going to do any homework. You are the one interpreting, not me.
Of Jesus. When you do that,
By the way, just to clarify one thing, we are not going to do any homework. He's going to interpret for us in 20 minutes.
I'm saying you, I'm giving you the assignment.
No, we don't need any assignment.
Find out what Exodus is and the Exodus of Jesus is, so that when I explain it, you will understand.
You said you will take 20 minutes to explain it.
Yes,
Why are you giving me
yes.
assignment
I'm
for?
giving you the background.
Hey, now.
You need to get this background knowledge first.
Teach him.
Go ahead.
Go and research.
20 minutes of your
Go
time
and
to
research.
explain.
Find out Exodus, what Exodus is.
Thank you for offering the chair.
Find out what
So,
Exodus is.
listen now.
Yeah,
Listen.
and the Exodus of Jesus.
Listen, okay.
So when you find out that knowledge,
Allow me to speak
so
now?
when you have that knowledge, when I
Sure.
explain,
Allow me to speak. Allow me to speak
you
now.
will understand.
Allow me to speak now. So now, what we have realized
Said nothing.
is this.
Don't be happy.
Brother,
Did I say I said anything?
brother,
said nothing.
brother, you're giving me
Said
an opportunity to
anything.
speak.
Did I say I've said anything? I've not explained
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
I have not. Did I say I've explained
Sure.
anything?
Excuse me.
I'm giving you assignment.
Sure. Which
I'm
church-
giving you assignment.
Which-
I'm giving you assignment.
Can you come down and let me speak?
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
yes.
That's very gentlemanly now. Which church do you go to?
Why do you ask me that?
Background. It's a background task for you.
Why
Which
is
church?
that, why is that
It's a
important?
background task for you. It's a background information seeking. Which church do you go to? I need to know the background. Yeah.
Why did you want to know where I go to church?
It's a background information, just like my Exodus. I have to do background. I'm doing. Which church do you go to?
You don't need to go to. My going to church has no bearing on the background.
Are you certain? Are you certain? We don't need to go to which church you go to for knowing the interpretation of this text. Jesus said, "I'm going to my God." Are you certain? I don't need that.
Anyway.
No, I'm not finished. I'm not finished yet. Which church do you go to?
If you ask about the church,
Yeah,
if
which
you're
church?
asking about the church,
Which church
first
do
of
you
all, I recommend you can download.
No, which church do
You
you go
can
to?
download for free.
No.
The catechism. Listen.
Doesn't go to church.
You can download for free.
Do you have a church?
Hold on.
Do you have a church that you go to?
Listen, you can download for free
Do
the
you
catechism
have a
of the
church?
Catholic Church. The catechism of the Catholic Church. The catechism of the as one of the recommendations for you, right? Download for free. The catechism
Okay, good. Okay.
of the Catholic
How do you spell
Church.
catechism? How do you spell catechism? How do you spell catechism? Go ahead. Can I write this down? How do you spell it?
Don't demonize it.
Excuse me. How do you spell catechism? Can you tell me?
I don't know.
You don't know
I told you
catechism.
not to do it.
So how do you
Why are doing
search?
it again?
How do you download it if you
I
don't know how
told
to
you not to
spell?
do it. Why are you doing it again?
I don't
It's not
know.
nice.
So you don't know how to spell
I'm
catechism?
just telling you.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
just telling you.
To say
Brother.
I'm just telling you. Download.
Okay.
I'm just telling you.
How can I
download.
download? I don't know how to search for. How do you spell catechism again? You don't know. Okay, never mind. You don't know. Okay. Can you now show me how Jesus prayed to his God in the Garden of Gethsemane?
Just do what I told you.
Yeah. I will do. Catechism, I don't know how to spell it.
He's standing there as a human.
So brother, please. Can you now show us how Jesus prayed to his God in the Garden of Gethsemane?
I will answer all that.
No, can you show me? Show me.
I want you to have this background knowledge first. If you don't have this background knowledge, you will not understand what I'm going to tell you.
Look. I need some background knowledge.
You will not understand what I'm going to tell you.
I need some background knowledge. The background knowledge I need is this.
I really want you to understand it.
Can you listen? Listen, my friend. Very gentlemanly. For my background knowledge, I need to know how did Jesus pray to his God in the Garden of Gethsemane? Can you show us?
That's not very good.
First of all,
Show us. Can you make some space? Thank you.
Look.
A little bit more. Good. Can you show us how Jesus prayed to his God in the Garden of Gethsemane? I think I've given you enough space. And I'm gonna write this down how exactly. Go on, show us. I need that background knowledge. So how did he pray to his God?
Are you saying his words? What do you want to know? His words or
can you show me how he went down on his knees and his forehead on the ground and how he worshipped his God?
Yeah, but I prostrate.
How did he do that?
I prostrate.
No, not you.
I prostrate.
Not
I prostrate every day.
Not you. How Jesus did to his God.
I prostrate.
But I don't know how you pray. I want to know how Jesus prayed to his God.
You can stand up. It depends.
I don't know.
Depends on the situation.
My friend, I'm asking about you.
For example.
Are you listening?
No.
I am not asking about you.
No.
Save that thought. I'm not asking about you. No. How did Jesus pray to his God? No. Can you show us?
Now listen.
I'm listening. Can you show us? Do you all want to see?
Listen.
Yes. Okay, show us. Go ahead.
Listen.
Sure, I've given you enough room.
Listen.
Go ahead.
You're telling about how Jesus
prayed to his God.
How Jesus did what?
Prayed to his God.
How Jesus prayed? I'm telling you, Jesus
in the Garden of Gethsemane.
Jesus is God.
Yeah. So how did he pray?
Jesus is God.
So how did one God pray to another God in the Garden of Gethsemane?
Yeah, because you don't understand.
Can you show us?
Because you don't understand. I've told you Jesus is God.
Yeah. Can you show us how your God prayed to his God?
Come on, don't take
I said Jesus is God.
Since you say Jesus is God, how did Jesus, your God, pray to his God in the Garden of Gethsemane?
You see, you don't see how stupid your question is.
Are you not going to show us?
Don't want to,
okay. So since you're not going to show us, I think the game is over.
To give you a clue, you are trying to equate. To give you a clue, you are trying to equate the man Jesus with the divine. You see, he's two in one.
It's too good.
Two what in one what?
Jesus has two wheels.
Two wills.
Yes.
Did he have a divine will?
Yes.
And according to the divine will, did he want to die?
Sorry? What are you asking?
When he says,
I will answer all these things.
Answer now.
Next week.
Always next week.
But first of, yeah.
How do I know you'll be alive next week and I'll be alive next week?
Well,
we don't know. So let's learn something today.
I don't know.
So let's learn
We're not
something
going to
today.
make any sense of it.
So let's learn something
We're
today.
not going to make any sense of it.
So now tell me.
Make it sensible to make it sensible. You see,
are you doing a runner?
Are you doing a runner? You're asking me.
Every question I ask next week. This is called running away.
You see, the way you're asking about Jesus.
Do you know how long we have spoken?
You only see him.
You said a lot, but you said nothing. You said a lot, but you said
this one?
Oh, I said anything.
أمي كم أهواها أشتاق لمرآها وأحن لي ألقاها وقلبي